Welcome to the Unstuck Yourself Daily Dose with Brittany Bigley. The Unstuck Yourself Daily Dose is part of the Live Bigley community, giving you the resources and knowledge to help you live the life you were born to lead. Hello and welcome to the Unstuck Yourself Daily Dose. I am Brittany Bigley, and I wanted to jump on here today to talk more about presence and some questions around, in doing this practice of being present and bringing my focus and awareness to, am I present in this moment? What percentage am I present? Can I be more present? And deepening into that presence in the present moment. I want to speak about, how can you catch yourself when you know that you aren't present? So what are the markers that you, like in your behavior, markers in your emotions? What are some patterns when you notice yourself not being present in the present moment? So the first one is like, it's really hard sometimes to stay present in some of the most terrible spaces. So to be present with some of the most challenging emotions, I know one of mine is anger. How to stay present in that. And I think it's really, again, it's like consciousness and focus and understanding where your attention is going and putting it into actively choosing to put your focus and attention on the emotion that you're feeling. And when you do that, what I've found is that the emotion that I was like trying to suppress and shove down, what actually happens is that I'm able to move through it. And it doesn't feel like it's I am angry. It is I am feeling angry. Notice the difference. One is I am, the other is I feel. There's a disconnect from who I am. It's not I am this anger. It is I am feeling it. And what ends up happening is within 60 to 90 seconds, the anger shifts and I move through it. So really trying to notice when you are not being present. And again, noticing the patterns of when you're not being present. So whether that's patterns of which emotions do you disconnect from and not be present with. Again, for example, anger for me. Noticing periods of the day or when you're around certain people when you stop being present. For example, one of my challenges as a special education teacher there are students that I work with that I have a challenge staying present with when certain students are shut down and either are very quiet or are combative and just absolutely do not want any help and push me away. And it's like noticing that my hesitancy to stay present. And it's like getting curious and wondering why that is. I would imagine, and this is just me going off the cuff, not really thinking about the why behind it, why I'm not present with certain students that are shut down or, combative would probably be, especially the shutdown, is that they remind me of my father, who would shut down, especially big emotions, when feeling big emotions or when being presented with big emotions. And that would make me feel abandoned. And so it goes to this, the attachment theory. And so I imagine that it's activating my nervous system because it's reminding me of a time, in my childhood when my father would shut down emotionally. And that leaves me feeling like I'm abandoned. And so like, what are the markers for you? Like, what are the patterns that you're noticing? Is it certain times during the day? Is it around certain people? Or do you catch yourself doing certain things when you're not being present? So for me, one of the markers would around anger, when there's anger in my system and I'm trying to suppress it or not deal with it and not be present with it, is I tend to want to emotionally overeat. So I go to the fridge when I'm not hungry and I try to find food, and it's like this unyielding hunger, insatiable hunger that I cannot feed. I can't quench, right? That to me is a marker for me when I'm not being present with myself and with my emotion. And specifically, I would say that's with anger. So just getting really curious about, are there certain periods of the day, patterns that you're noticing, around certain people, certain indicators of when you're not being present, and get really curious about it. And I think, again, it's not being judgmental. It's not shaming yourself and, oh, you should be present, or, come on, we're doing this practice in presence and how could you, how dare you? It's being really soft and gentle, and just staying open, an open mind, and having curiosity about why it is. And I think there's medicine in that when you stay curious and open and want to explore rather than shame and condemn. And there's medicine in there, and there's wisdom, and then you're able to shift it as well. So hopefully this resonates in some way. If this does resonate, please go ahead and hit that like button. If you know somebody that needs to hear this medicine, please go ahead and share it. If you want to have more content showing up like this in your mailbox, or, just have it coming to you in general, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Otherwise, happy healing, and I will see you when I see you. Thanks for listening to the Unstuck Yourself Daily Dose with Brittany Bigley. The Unstuck Yourself Daily Dose is part of the Live Bigley community, giving you the tools and resources so that you can live the life you were born to lead.